Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Back at it. We're going to today, this video, we're going to tackle the front struts on the 2012 Chrysler 200. Passenger side done already, so know what I'm doing. Struts are pretty straightforward. They're pretty easy. But so we'll just hop into them right away and get them going. I'm already doing the brakes, so I'm doing a strut video as well. So I got the brakes off and everything's ready to go for the struts. Got my new strut right there. They are the correct struts. Go figure. Even though I ordered them off eBay, and they're good KYBs. So what I'll do for the struts is got the brakes off. You don't need to take the brakes off for this. So, but here's where I'm at. And basically, what you want to do if you live in a nice salty climate like I do, is a day or two before you do this, you want to PB blast everything, since everything's going to be roughy. There's no exceptions, especially if you live where I do. So spray everything with PB blaster and whatnot. And now the first thing we're going to need to take off is we're going to take off this brake line holder and ABS line holder. It's a little, what is it, 13 mil? Yeah, 13 mil. So we'll take that off first, and then after we take this off, then we're going to take the sway bar off, which is a 15, but you also have to put a little Allen wrench in here, which is like I think it's like a 3/32 or something like that. And then you hold the center of this while you're turning that off. And like I said before, Wisconsin car, rusty. The other side did come off, but we'll see if this side comes off. Hopefully, I'm lucky. Fingers crossed. So we'll take this brake line bracket off, brake line ABS bracket off first, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully it doesn't snap or do anything silly, because I did spray it, but PB blaster isn't always a sure thing. I mean, because everything's so darn rusty around here. And the cool thing is the other brake line, when I was putting the bolts in, I had to hammer the bolts in or hammer the bolts out, and I didn't move the ABS line out of my way enough, and I completely cut the ABS line by hammering the bolt and then missing or pushing the bolt all the way through, and then I hit the brake line or ABS line and then it cut it. So, but I do need ABS sensors for this thing anyways. Hopefully that was the bad one. It probably wasn't. So yeah, so now I got that hanging, and now we will go to do the sway bar. So let's do that. Oh, look at the lighting on that. That'll probably give me good shadows. All right, let's hope I don't break this. Well, I'm gonna hit this with an impact first, just to kind of get some stank on it, maybe pop a thread or two, and then come back in here with the ratchet. All right, so hopefully that kicked like a thread or two, something like that, loosened it up. So now I'll come back in here. This is just like the joys of living, you know, where I do, you know, rust. So now hopefully that knocks some stuff off and we can get it off the rest of the way by hand, if we're lucky. Yeah, we'll see. It's not looking good. She's on there tight. Worst comes to worst, I'll just have to get a new sway bar end link, which I can't imagine these are expensive, but it's just more money I don't want to put into this thing. All right, we're going, but not very gracefully. All right, that's a win. PB blaster for the win, eh? Cool beans, 2 for 2. How about them apples? All right, sway bar is off. Sway bar is off. EBS brake line's off. Now we pop these bottom bolts off, because I always like doing the bottom before I do the top, because obviously the top holds the strut in, and if you take the top out and then the bottom and you do the bottom, it's just gonna fall out. And I'd rather have my hand on it while I'm loosening up the top. So we'll hammer these out with impact, and then hopefully I don't smash and rip this one like I did the last one, or cut it in half, and then we'll move up to the top. And they're both 20s, I think. 20 mil. Twenty-ones. And yes, I know I'm supposed to be using the impact socket, but I don't care. I've never had a chrome socket blow up on me or crack on me. It's whatever. If it breaks, I'll buy a new one. I'm not gonna have double sockets, impact and regular chrome, because I'll just replace it if it breaks. All right, so the bolts didn't come out, so I will just tap them out with a hammer. If they don't come out with a hammer, I will just put the nut back on so I don't damage anything. Instead of my dead blow, I'll switch it to my metal hammer and get it out that way. And this is how I cut that line before, because I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing like usual. Boy, that's in there. All right. There we go. Actually had a swing at it. All right, so bottom of the strut is completely loose. So now we'll go up to the top and do the top, and the top is 15. All right, so the tops are just 15s. Nothing crazy, nothing special. You know, over the years and how many cars I've had, you know, I can only imagine or guesstimate on how much money I've saved just by doing maintenance myself. I'm no ASC certified mechanic or anything like that. I mean, I could be if I wanted to, but I don't like working on other people's stuff. So I got those top bolts out, or almost out. I got the last one in there. So now I'm gonna loosen the top one, loosen that last one, and I'll pull the strut out. Alright, strut is out. So now we'll put it in my little contraption over here, and then we'll get her off and changed. Got the strut out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure these are aligned as best as you can, because this this tool is designed, you know, obviously to hold a spring. So in a spring naturally, well, not naturally because it's man-made, the springs are like this, because they go they swirl down. So the springs aren't like level like this. So they're always like that. So this tool is, you know, designed, you know, to hold a spring. So it's designed that way so it can hold a spring that way. If that makes any sense what I just said, because I don't think that just made sense to me. So now it's got these little safety pins on it. I try to connect them, as many of them as I can. All right, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It looks pretty good. Couldn't get this one on. No big deal. It's not going to fly off and kill me because it's inside of here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we'll see. I think I might need to flip the spring. So I think that might be. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this down and take a little bit of pressure off of the spring itself, but I want to leave some tension on here because then that way when I'm taking this top nut off, I did PB blaster it, taking this top nut off. Let's see if I can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, I can see. Take this top nut off. I have enough pressure on there to hold everything together. That way, you know, it's not going to spin. So let's tighten that real quick. I think it doesn't really matter what size that is. It's a 24. Yeah, 24. The big thing when you're compressing the springs with some contraption like this is you want the springs to go down evenly because you don't want the spring to cock one way or another, because then it's going to be a total pain in the butt to one, line all this back up, and two, it's just not going to come apart easy. I think that should be pretty good. Not sure what size that is. Might be a 19. That's good for my GoPro. I think it's a GoPro. Alright, so the top of this is an 18. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to pull this down. There's a bump stop in there. And I'm going to watch this shaft. And I'm going to hit this with the impact and then kind of see how everything's going. I'm not going to just buzz it off with the impact because there's still some tension under this. But I also want to pay attention to this so that way it's not spinning. And then just keep going. And then once it starts looser it gets, then I'll probably clamp this down some more. I'll show you as I go. You know, those guys with the big fancy machines don't have to worry about dancing around with all this stuff. That's for sure. Oh, she's coming apart real easy. So I'm going to wrench down a little bit more. And then I'm going to put this on my ratchet, which is right in front of my face. Remember, I'm keeping my eye on that shaft to make sure it's not moving. I mean, they say you don't want to like grab onto that shaft to do whatever, but sometimes that you just got to do what you got to do to get things off. Okay, so she popped out, and the one major thing is always pay attention to your orientation of everything. Like if you look right here, this is real nice, this little isolator, the rubber isolator, because it's got a little nipple right here and it's got a little doodad right there to center everything. Then that's where your spring goes. Always make sure your springs go where they're supposed to go. Don't ever put it over here or over there, because you're going to cause a bunch of binding issues or noises that you're not supposed to have, and you know, that kind of stuff. So we'll just start transferring everything over to the new one right away. So bring the new one in. So bring the new one in. I already checked to make sure they were similar. Same with the other side. Well, not similar, making sure they're, you know, what they're supposed to be. You know, sway bar tab, brake line ADS tab. So bump stop needs to come off. Take the nut off of this one. because they do provide you with a new nut because it's an eye lock. So don't step on. And then, oh yeah, almost forgot my isolator. Well, I didn't almost forget it. Oh, there we go. So, I'm gonna wipe the dust off, or little chewy chunks. Got a little nipple in there, put that little thing. And then we slide her back together. Then same with this little top hat. It has a groove in it as well. The little top hat has a groove in it as well, so you want to line that up with the top as well. So that's good. So now I need to wrench on this quite a bit to clamp this in, because obviously you saw that it was under some tension. So now I need to make it under more tension, so I can put the coil spring or the strut in there. Okay, keep checking everything, make sure everything's aligning correctly. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll see if I can smash the rest of it down just by my hands. No, you can't really see what I'm doing, I don't think. Nope, definitely can't. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm just pushing down on this a little bit just by my hand, because the only thing I'm pushing is this one spring. If I was trying to push this whole spring, I wouldn't be able to do that. But all I'm doing is pushing down a little bit and then screwing this on by hand. So then I'm going to get a couple good threads going like that. So I got a good couple threads going. So now I'm going to just do the rest of it with my ratchet. Again, keep eye your spring, make sure it's sitting where it's supposed to be sitting, and you should be good to go. So now I'll just hit this down, and then our strut is assembled. Easy as that. You can buy these fully loaded. Fully loaded and it comes with new top hats. Like these are all, you know, bushings and spring bushings and bearings and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Cost effective wise, I don't really know. I haven't done the research to see which one is more cost effective. I'm pretty sure this one's probably more cost effective, because you probably get better struts. You probably get better struts than if you were to just buy like the fully loaded ones, because they gotta save money somehow, and by them saving money, they're gonna probably chinch you on the shock and not so good of shock, and then that way, you know, they're selling you a whole thing for the price of what a set of really good struts would cost you. Because I forget what these struts cost me. I think it was like $250 or something like that. But these are like an OE quality strut. You know, KYB makes really nice stuff. So now I got most of that on there, so that's all loose. I still need to tighten this all the way, so we'll take this off and then we'll keep tightening it. Just pull these pins back out, at least the ones you can get back out. There we go. So that strut is almost done, other than the top that I need to finish. So all right, so she's all assembled. Now we'll put her in. So have your nuts ready for the top. Angle it in nice. Alright, so the tops are on. So now we'll put the bottom in. Oh well, can you see that? Not at all. How's that? That's better. Alright. So I've got a bottom one in, or top one in. Bottom one's in. Top one's gonna need a little bit of persuasion. Top one's in, bottom one's in. Now we'll tighten the top one up first, or tighten the top up first, then we'll come down here and smack on the bottom. Alright, so that's good for the top. So now we'll go about the bottom. And when you do this, you need to get an alignment after you're done, 100%. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like you will roast your tires if you don't get alignment. It won't be too bad because it's camber. Camber doesn't really wreck your tires too terribly fast, but it will wreck your tires. The biggest thing that'll wreck your tires is toe in and toe out, and that's controlled by your tie rod. And if you ever replace your tie rods, make sure anytime you actually do anything with your suspension, either get it to an alignment shop right away, or do everything at once and on your crappy tires, and then just drive it to your alignment shop and then do alignment and put new tires on it right away, because that's what I'm doing with this thing. I'm putting new tires on it after I do the struts, brakes, wheel speed sensors, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I still need to track down my evap leak, which there's going to be a video for that as well, trying to track that down, because that seems to be a thing that I'm going through right now on all my vehicles, because I own a whole bunch of old crap. So okay, so a couple more things, and then we're done with the struts. So what I like to do, since I live in Wisconsin, is I like to anti-seize suspension parts when I put them back together. So with this, since this is in good shape, I also like to lube things if they're greasable, blah blah, whatever. Oh, anyways, I like to put anti-seize on things, because that way the next time I take it apart, I won't be so afraid to take it apart that it'll break, because this anti-seize will do what it's supposed to do and anti-seize it. So now we'll put this jobber back on. And that is your front end strut replacement on a 2012 Chrysler 200. I'm sure there's words again. I'm terrible at words. I'm sure there's a way to cross-reference what these struts go in. So it'd be the same for anything with this chassis type, which I think is like, don't quote me on this, like the Dodge Avenger, the Sebring, and then this 200. I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. But yeah, that should more or less be it for the strut replacement for the front on this car. And instead of talking your guys' ear off like I've been doing this whole video, I'm going to cut it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out.